Good morning. You're listening to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Dave Gartshore and Rick Moon with Propex. Dave, you're the Vice President of the Furnishings Business at Propex, and Rick Moon, you're the Senior Account Manager. Just for the benefit of our listeners, tell our listeners just a little bit about Propex, if you would.
Yeah, we're about just under $500 million in sales globally, and we have our footprint in really 5 parts of the world: Europe, Brazil, Mexico, U.S. and Canada, of course, and the U.K. To give everybody a better understanding of how the sales split up, we're really broken into 4 business units, and Furnishing Solutions represents about 30% of the global sales.
Okay. You've been in the carpet backing business for a long time. As a matter of fact, you're the largest independent producer of carpet backing, perhaps in the world. That's what I want to talk to you about. You just had a release in the news earlier this week, and I want to talk to you about that. You've received a U.S. patent on your yarn manufacturing technology that you use in your EX3 line of lightweight carpet backings. Tell us a little bit about that, if you would.
Yeah, Kemp, this is Rick. You know, we go all the way back to Amico and Patchogue Plymouth, and basically inventors of synthetic carpet backing.
Right.
We've got a long history in the carpet industry.
As a matter of fact, Rick, correct me if I'm wrong, but when the business moved from jute to synthetic, the reason it moved to synthetic is because you guys had developed it, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. There was a jute strike, and there was a real need in the marketplace, and we stepped up to that and fulfilled that need. And that's what we continue to do. Even this far down, 40 years down the road, we're still innovating these backing products. Especially EX3 is designed to run a full-line carpet mill. It's a lightweight backing, but it's got heavyweight capabilities. We've made the yarn in such a way that it'll control the tufts at tufting, hold the stitch in, let the tufting machines do its job, and still produce very high-quality carpet. There's other ways to make lightweight backings other than our proprietary way. You can just take yarn weight out. But we didn't do that. We modified our yarn manufacturing process.
Most people know that primary backing is the fabric through which the tufting needles pass, and it holds the yarns together until you get into the coating process, and it still provides dimensional stability throughout the life of the carpet. But most people also know probably that primary backing is a tape-and-tape construction. So basically what you're telling us is that you've gotten a patent because you're making that tape a little differently than most of the other players do?
Right. We're keeping approximately very close to the same yarn dimensions, but we were able to get weight out of the fabric, but keep the yarn dimensions the same. And the yarn dimensions are what really hold those tufts in. So if you make a smaller yarn and expect it to perform under the needles, it just won't do it if you take the dimensions out. So we came up with a way to keep the yarn dimensions the same, but yet have a lighter backing, and that allows us to compete at lower price points.
Okay, so the advantage to the producer of carpet is that this product is priced a little bit more competitively, and it also performs the same. Is that correct?
That's one of them. The other is just it's better for the environment. Just it's less of a carbon footprint if you put less material in it to begin with. So it's got other advantages around that may be a little more subtle. Of course, price is one of them, but the other stuff is important too. We've got roll sizes on EX3 that upwards of 3,000 linen yards. So when you're running a tufting machine, you can have effectively half the backing changes. And that results in efficiency and less waste.
All right. So by the very nature of the fact that it's lighter, you can put more fabric on a roll, and therefore you have less change-out or doffing time between rolls. Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
Or run time in tufting.
Let me just ask you, don't get a chance to talk to you that often. As I've said, you're the largest producer. Most of your products are made in the United States, and while you do have a global footprint, most of what you sell to the U.S. carpet market is made here in the U.S. Tell us a little bit about business conditions.
Well, business can always be better, Kemp, as I think all our customers in the carpet world would say as well. But we're doing fairly well. Really, what's been the saving grace for us for these difficult times is these new technologies taking off. As you know, we chatted face-to-face, I think, at the last Surfaces show about our ICES launch. That's our polyester product. It's really starting to get some traction. And then most recently this EX3, although we have been working on EX3 since about 2009. And the other thing, Kemp, that we're always trying to do is we're value price model, as you well know, and we're trying to continue to leverage all our strengths that we offer as a domestic supplier. So the business is healthy, and like I mentioned, we continue to invest in these technologies. A lot of things on the front burner in terms of new development.
And actually, most people that know about backing know that some of the big mills several years ago, backwards integrated, Synthetic Industry was bought by Shaw. One of your plants was bought by Mohawk, and I think Wayne Tex was also bought by Mohawk. And by doing these innovations, you're continuing to kind of move the shell, if you will, a little bit, because through innovation, that would be an incentive for some of these mills that have their own backing capacity to perhaps consider buying your product. Is that right?
Exactly right. Trying to break away from the pack. And our core business is backing. We'd like to believe we offer the best value in terms of in backing products and solutions technologies.
I heard a rumor the other day, and perhaps you can confirm it, that the Carpet and Rug Institute is no longer going to do the backing report. Had you heard that news?
We have heard that, Kemp, and actually we're quite disappointed. We found a lot of value in that.
Yeah. I'm not sure how the industry is going to know, because you can't make carpet without backing, and that was one way they could tell kind of what was going on with the business. But I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I think that's reflective of the supplier shift over the last couple of years to a higher percentage being non-domestic based.
All right, so one last comment. I've heard news also that you guys are moving to downtown Chattanooga. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, we're going to be moving into Warehouse Row. I believe that's now scheduled for the week of December 10th. And I think it's good news, for our customers. I believe it shows the confidence our owners has in us in making this commitment. Also, it's a commitment to the community in downtown Chattanooga.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, you wouldn't be making that move if your future outlook wasn't positive, right?
Exactly.
Well, it's good to talk to you guys. Again, we've been talking to David Gartshore, who's Vice President of the Furnishings Business, and Rick Moon, who's Senior Account Manager with Propex. And you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.